My name is Katie Knickrum. I am going into my 14th year of homeschooling my children. I have 6 children. I have graduated 1, and I have obviously 5 left, ranging from 4th grade to 12th grade.
We're starting our 12th year.
Oh, wow.
So I have an 11th grader, a 9th grader, and a preschooler.
I had taught school. I taught public school 5 years, private school 5 years. And then when our daughter came along, a neighbor asked us, were we going to do public or private? And I said, I'm thinking home.
My name is Hope Mabe, and I have been homeschooling starting this fall. We'll be our 22nd year. We have 4 children, and 3 are graduated, and I still have 1 left in high school.
My name is Jennifer, and I have homeschooled for about 15 years. I have 2 young men who are now graduated and attending college currently.
What advice would you wish to be given? When they're little, they're going to learn. It may not be at the speed the child next door or their cousin is learning. They may be ahead, they may be behind. As we went along, and she had some challenges, some things went very smoothly, other things were difficult. I had to remember, what is my goal? And when she wasn't reading at 5, what is my goal? My goal is a child who loves to learn and reads for life. 6, 7, 8, and I was, holding on sometimes, gripping, and having all kinds of people come tell me, she's behind, you know that. I decided that one of my goals would be just to help her love to learn and to keep that alive and to feel successful as she went along. So we emphasized the things she did well, which were science, history, study skills, math. When we went to the library, she might not be able to type in the name of the book she wanted, but some of my friends had questions about, how do I find this? And Bethany was telling them. So other moms, she was showing how to use the library system. So there was most things she did really well. When our daughter finally did catch on to reading, and it clicked with her, she went from Bob Books, which is this little type of set where the books are short vowels, 3-letter words, to the Chronicles of Narnia in a year and a half. So when your child is ready to learn a particular subject, it's going to click and they're going to move along.
So working and homeschooling is definitely doable. I know that we all want what's best for our child, and I think as you go through the homeschool year and you find out what works for your family, what time frame works for your family. Some people homeschool in the morning, some people homeschool in the evening, as if the parent works first or second shift. So whatever works for your family, it's very doable. I was a stay-at-home mom for 11 years while all of my children were young elementary. But as they began to get a little bit older, I needed to go back to work. And the 2 approaches that have worked for our family is, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, for me, I used to work 3rd shift. And I would come home early Monday morning and sleep for a few hours and then get up and start their school day. And we would school into the afternoon and then have a regular school day on Tuesday through Friday. Most recently, I am an employee at Golyon's Christian Supply in King. And during the school year, I work 3 to 4 days a week, working from approximately 1 to 7 or 2 to 7, and I do all of my schooling in the morning. And where I have high school students now, they can do any kind of follow-up work like research, writing reports, any extra reading in the afternoon if school happens to flow over past lunch. I also have some friends who own their own business, and their child does a lot of things online, and the mother takes the child to the office with her. And so there are those options available as well through Switched On Becca, Bob Jones. They all have online programs or DVD programs that would make working and homeschooling possible. I also know of a family where the parents worked separate shifts, so that there was always a parent home with the children, but they were able to homeschool, spend some time together as a family, and then the next shift, whichever parent was home that evening, would do any follow-up schoolwork, seat work, reading, writing that needed to be accomplished. And so I know that that's very stressful when you have to work and you have to homeschool, but it can be accomplished. I think one of the things that I wish I would have known earlier in my homeschooling career was to be a little more relaxed. My first few years I was very rigid with my oldest two as far as like keeping everything on a really tight, firm schedule, and I would kind of get all out of whack if my day didn't go the way that I had originally planned it. But now you just, I've learned to kind of just roll with it. If someone is sick, we'll just pick it up the next day. I don't use a boxed set of curriculum. I use what I know works for each individual child. And I've just learned to be a little more relaxed with everything. And that has helped take the stress off of the children. It's taken some stress off of me as the mom. It's taken some stress off of our family as a whole. But it works for my family. Like I said, 22 years in this fall, and I have thoroughly enjoyed my journey and thoroughly enjoyed my time that I was able to spend with my children. And I think as you move along within your own personal journey, that you will find that you can do this as well.
I'm all for gentle starts all the way, in every way that you can think of that. So in terms of starting your homeschool year or starting your homeschool journey, start gently. The first week, only do one subject. The next week, add another subject. Then maybe by week 3, you feel like you hit your stride, maybe you can add 2 more things. And every morning, start gently. Most kids' brains are not alert the first thing in the morning to kind of tackle that kind of work, and it can lead to frustration, leads to a bad attitude about the rest of their day. And we just kind of think, well, if that's their best time of day and this is how it ends up, oh my goodness, this isn't working, we're done. And really, starting, let's read together, let's sit and look at our schedule for the day, or how about you guys color or doodle or put together some Legos while I read to you from our history book. I usually say breakfast, morning time, snack, and that's when you're going to find their really alert time, in that time between a morning munchie and lunch. And boom, that's when we tackle math and and the English and the important stuff. Always be paying attention to how is this affecting our relationships as a family? How is this affecting my child's attitude about learning? So I tell parents to think about, 10 years after your homeschool journey is done, when your child looks back on it, what do you want them to say about it? What do you want them to remember about it? And then build those in to your long-term plan, and be flexible.
Ultimately, I really, really recommend to people that whatever they choose to do, that they get some kind of schedule established. The other thing for me, it's been ultra important to have a finite amount of work that the kids are responsible for in a day. I've never compromised with math. The kids always do an hour of math, because math is one of those things that you cannot let up on, or else it easily goes downhill. Secondly, I've never let up on reading. They always have to have some time set aside for reading. Do not overplan. Do not overwhelm the kids. But you definitely want to set a specific time aside and do some measurable amounts of work that actually is finite, that the kids can see like the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's very key, is to not do too much and not to expect too much of yourself.
One thing to remember is you don't have to have a school desk in a schoolroom. When we first started out, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment and had no extra room. We did school at the dinner table, and we did school on the couch. Sometimes school was outside in the backyard on a blanket. Utilize all the opportunities, the parks, nature walks, all those different things. Those are all part of learning. Being creative, think outside of the box. That's one thing I would share with people. I want to encourage you that you can do this. I read a book called Home Sweet Homeschool, very good book, and it encouraged me and helped me to see that I could do this. And with the Lord's help, I knew I could. I am so thankful that I did, because the bond that I have with my children now is priceless. The bond that they have with each other is priceless. And you can't get that just any way and anywhere. And so I encourage you to work on not just academics, but relationships. But you can do this. And if you need help, contact us, let us know. We'll do our best to help you out. Thank you.
Finding other people I can connect with and maybe to give back, that mentoring was the virtual support where that was kind of born. Even pre-COVID, we decided to go virtual because you didn't have to find a sitter to go out for another night, although we did make it a point to make sure we got out and got together, for breakfast once a month or what have you. And we didn't care whose kids were running around in the background of the Zoom meeting, or if you got interrupted and had to go, help somebody with the potty or whatever, because we were just kind of all in that. But it was time to make sure we connected. I really believe in that, making sure that you have your connection. Sometimes in co-ops and stuff, it's hard because the kids have to match, classes in the co-op have to match, the time commitment has to match, and then hopefully you find other moms that you click with, and if you don't, it's like, so there's a lot of dynamics that go into that, not to mention just getting out of the house week after week, and then somebody gets the sniffles and you have to stay home, and then you miss it and you don't get your connection for weeks at a time. This was a way to kind of get rid of those factors and make sure that there was something there for people to go to. And we set goals so that we were working on ourselves, our professional development as homeschool parents, really. So, there was something ambition that we were building up ourselves so that we could pour out more freely to our families.